Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm, as always, Darth Devious, bringing you another video review. Today we're going to take a look at Arts Kai's RoboCop from 1987 RoboCop. Now, when they released this, along with versions from the new RoboCop film. The silver version and the black version. I just don't care for that. To me, this is RoboCop. We're not gonna play games with that. And you know, he's not really a stylized version of RoboCop like some of the Arts Kai figures are. Eventually I want to take a look at the Man of Steel Superman from Arts Kai, but they did a little bit of a stylized version of him, so he's not quite movie accurate. I'm not really a big fan of their stylized figures. That's why I don't get any of those. I think Superman's the only one I have. But this is RoboCop. It's a nice version of RoboCop. You can see in the back, you know, he does have a holster. Unlike the NECA version, his isn't like spring-loaded. You have to actually put it together, take leg panels off, put other leg panels on. I haven't done it. I don't plan on doing it anytime soon, but the parts are in here, so you know, you open it up. There's a bio there if you want to read it, if you can, on your own time, maybe. Should I get closer? You can read that. And it pretty much just tells the story of, you know, the movie. And you see he's got other hands in there. There's a spike hand. I don't really I like keeping them with the hands I've got on them right now. So, there's that. And you can see there's a holster pieces. It's 3 pieces you have to put together to make the holster for the gun. It's nice that they included that. I don't need it. So, yeah. Losing my train of thought, so we're going to bring in the big guy. And he is kind of a large figure. He's not, you know, he's nowhere near the same size as the NECA figures. He towers over them. I'll bring in the one of the NECA RoboCops in a little bit. But as you can see, he is a nicely detailed RoboCop figure. They do have some of that metallic blue in his armor. And this is pretty much RoboCop right off the assembly line. Brand new, nice and shiny, nice and clean. OCP Police 001, things like that. And this is really cool. I like this. I wish it had come with a head that, you know, the helmet could come off, but it's hard for anybody to do that because Peter Weller doesn't like giving out the rights to that. But I will say he has slightly more articulation than the actual RoboCop suit did, which is not really a bad thing because it's easy to replicate some of the poses from the film. Like I got here, how he would keep his one hand behind him and just like. I keep him on the stand because sometimes, because of the extra articulation in his feet, he sometimes doesn't want to stand. So, taking a quick look at his gun, we'll zoom in on his gun here. Come on, focus. And it's a nicely detailed Auto 9. There's even some silver paint up here in the vents. The handle is a different color than the rest of the gun, which is nice. Trademark Orion Pictures on the gun. Funny. But yeah, it's a nice version of the Auto 9. It's pretty cool, pretty accurate to the film, I would say. Sorry about that. I'm just failing all over today. So we got that. So we're close up on his head here, and you can see it's not a bad representation of RoboCop. It's really cool. I do have a problem with his neck, because his head and his neck there is an actual separate neck that's on a separate ball joint from his head. So it's the lower ball joint doesn't really want to hold on to the neck very well. So some poses it will come off, which is annoying. But what can you do? No figure's perfect. I found that out over the years. Alright, so we'll go over his articulation. Like I said, his head's on a ball joint, his neck's on a separate ball joint, and it likes to pop off. And it's trying to do it right now. Alright. He's got ball joints at his shoulders, he's got an extra joint at his shoulders, and he's got the butterfly joint in the shoulder. So the shoulder can go up, it can go down. That's why I like putting it out like that for the gun holding pose. His arm, as you hear, he's got a ratchet there. Now it does want to have a swivel there, but it's not supposed to. RoboCop didn't have a swivel. Now instead of swiveling here at the black part of the arm, which is where it's supposed to, they did give him a fully articulated wrist on both sides. Now he's got an upper ball joint, he's got a lower ball joint, so you got a lot of movement there, which is actually a little bit more than the suit had. His feet can go out about that far. They do swivel a little bit, which is okay because he's not really supposed to. They can go back, they can go forward. He's got ratcheted knees that do 90. And then his feet actually have pivots. And the pistons have little pivot points on them to correspond to where you put the feet. So his feet don't have to be static like on the NECA one where they just go back and forth in and out on the pistons. You can actually get a nice ankle tilt on them and get some nice poses, some wide-legged poses if you need to. So it's just finding that sweet spot sometimes with him. So we're going to back him up a little bit. We're going to bring in one of the NECA RoboCops. And as you can see, there is a big size difference, as well as an articulation difference. I actually like the amount of articulation that the RoboCop figures have, that the NECA ones have, because they are very accurate to the film in a limited way. But, you know, like they have the swivel here instead of on the wrist, though he does have a lot more articulation in the wrist, which is okay. It's still a fantastic version of RoboCop. And he's a lot bigger. He's a lot bigger. Yeah. Good 2-3 inches taller than the 7-inch NECA figure. So yeah. So yeah, now I like the stand. I don't have too many Play Arts Kai figures that came with stands. My Joker came with a stand. Harley Quinn did not. Neither my Robin nor my Batman came with one. Superman did. And Superman's is actually good because I can actually use it to fly. Now this is your standard Play Arts Kai stand. You know, it says Play Arts Kai here on the bottom. You can't see it. It's clear. There you go. And it comes in a couple pieces. You have to put it together. These screws, as soon as you move something, they come loose. And that is annoying. That's my one gripe I have with their stands. But it holds him pretty good, and I can get him in the poses I want. And he sits on display, so, you know. I'll get him back in the pose I had him in. Put his gun back in his hand. Put his finger in the trigger. Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Yeah, I've done that before. There you go. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty much how I display him. I keep him like he's, you know, going after some bad guys. Holding his gun. Yeah. So yeah, if you're a fan of RoboCop and you can track this down, I recommend it. This is a nice version of RoboCop to have. The NECA ones are great. I love my NECA figures, but every once in a while I want a little bit more premium version of a figure. So, you know, I will go out and seek one of these Play Arts Kai versions or something like that, some other version, without going to the old Hot Toys super expensive route, because I can't afford Hot Toys. So there you go. So that's it. Play Arts Kai RoboCop. Really cool figure. Really like him. The only problem I really have with him is his neck, but I can live with that. No figure is perfect. You guys be good, or I'm going to send him after you. Be good.